Kenyans, I am Samaria Mwema, na siku ya leo mimi ningependa kuongea kuhusu Kenyan oppositions, wale ambaye wanajaribu kuja pamoja to try and take Kasongo home. It's a critical thing that they remain united. Regardless of your parties, kama ni Wiper and DCP, whatever, kama huna chama kama Bwana Fred Matiang'i, which is a shame, you must remain united. One thing that you guys need to understand is that Kasongo will do anything, and that guy is smart here. He will do anything to rig, to steal, to break you guys apart. He will use billions of Kenya's taxpayers' money to literally ensure that he's broken the opposition so that you do not. He's a student of Moi. Divide and rule. Divide and you conquer them. So msisahau hivyo. So one of the things that can make Kasongo come back again and destroy Kenya and put Kenya in the grave completely is greediness. And this I say without shame or without worry or without any reservation. If you, united opposition, are not one and the same thing, if you become greedy and you have to be the one that has to be the flag bearer, if you have to be the one that will have to be the deputy president, if you're not selfless and you embrace selfishness, you will not win. And it's a shame because Kasongo will beat you, because he will try to do everything to steal. He has the power, he has the money, he has the whatever that he needs to ensure he goes back. The only way that he will be beaten is by the united opposition staying together, and they become selfless and they choose one individual who they think will be good enough to beat Kasongo. Now let's agree. Who do we really think has the ability to beat Kasongo? Let me rule out Eugene. He hasn't got the ability. Let me rule out Natembeya. He hasn't got the ability. Does Mother have the ability to beat Kasongo? Very unlikely. Why am I saying this? And I say this with all due respect to my elder sister Martha Karua. I don't think she has the ability. I think she's qualified, but I don't think she has the numbers. Now, if everybody was to rally behind her as the sole candidate, she may have a chance. But I'm not sure she's the favorable. One advantage that Martha Karua does have is that she is the only female that is there within the united opposition that is strong and that is going to be vying for presidents, unless others are going to come up a bit later. I mean, we are almost 2 years plus before the actual elections. So, but Martha Karua, of course, is a lawyer, seasoned lawyer, international, iron lady, strong, has got her own party. She's got followers and all that. She's not scared of Kasongo. She can actually be a president, can be ruthless. But yeah, whether she has that niche, whether she has that top-notch ability to destroy Kasongo by 10 a.m. in the morning is another thing. The only advantage she has is that, of course, she's been a leader for so long. She's a lawyer. She's very experienced. She's got the money. And she's a woman. So that's a big advantage. Kenya has never had a woman vice president or president. So that would resonate. Could she do a very good deputy president? Yes, she could. Has she ever been a deputy president? No. She's tried with Raila almost several times, but it's never worked. So really, then that leaves 3 people. Only 3 people. He leaves Matiang'i, he leaves Kalonzo, and he leaves Rigathi Gachagua. Those 3. Now, do those 3 have the ability to beat Kasongo? and send Kasongo home by 10 a.m.? Yes, the answer is yes. I will tell you, Matiang'i resonates very well with everybody. His track record is fantastic, is very good. His campaign ability is a little bit shaky. He is likable, very likable. He's got the zeal, very good zeal. Is he educated? Very good. He's doctor. He's got proven track record when he was ministers and all that. He worked under Jubilee administration for over 10 years. Yes, Matiang'i can. Does he resonate with the youth? Yes, he does. So Matiang'i is a strong contender. Can he beat Kasongo by 10 a.m. in the morning? Yes, he can. But the other leaders need to rally behind him if they choose him to be the person. Has he got the money to run campaign? I think he does. And he might get support in the US and all that and diaspora. Yes. Would Matiang'i be okay if he was to be told you're not going to be the president, be the deputy, or be the whatever other these high positions? Would he be able to support other people? I think he may struggle with that. And I think we see this with this whole issue of Jubilee Party. Because if I was Matiang'i, and people have echoed this time and time again, Matiang'i needs to have his own party. I mean, why is he not reading from what happened to Rigathi Gachagua with Kasongo when they entered into a marriage and into a government without a party? So, if I was to be asked, I would ask Matiang'i to have his own party. He's still got enough time. Drop Jubilee and have your own party. Jubilee is a combination of parties. So have a party for Matiang'i and let that be your party that you will enter into the united opposition with. There is worry about Jubilee, Matiang'i and Uhuru and all that, whether he's a mole within the united opposition, whether he's a project of Ruto, all that. Nobody knows. But for me, Matiang'i is a tick, is a good candidate. Kalonzo can beat Kasongo by 9 a.m. in the morning. Not 10, 9. Kasongo doesn't have a chance if the united opposition give Kalonzo the opportunity to be the flag bearer. The guy is experienced. He's been a vice president for 10 years with the times of Kibaki. The best presidency that Kenya has ever had. So he's got the experience. He's got the money. He's got the likability. The only worry with Kalonzo is the watermelon bit. That he's always very flaky, very, he can be swayed and moved and all that. And we have seen Kasongo try to throw a lot of enticement into him to try to join him, but he's been reluctant and he's not, because definitely he knows this is the last shot that Kalonzo has for presidency. I mean, a great shot. So if he loses this opportunity, I think that probably might be done for him, because I think the next coming years, I think the Gen Zs will be taking over. So Kalonzo is a good candidate. He's got everything that he needs to be. He just needs to ask the other united oppositions to rally behind him, and he can send this guy home by 9 a.m. He's got everything. Kalonzo is a tick. Let's go to Rigathi Gachagua. Does Rigathi Gachagua have the ability to send Kasongo home? 100%. He does have the ability. I think he would also send Kasongo home by 9 a.m., just like Kalonzo. Why? Is because he's been his deputy for nearly 2 years. He knows the scheme of this guy in and out. He was with him, he campaigned with him, he knows every strategy of this guy. If there is somebody that knows Kasongo very well, is not any other opposition leader but Rigathi Gachagua. Is Rigathi Gachagua likable? Yes, he is now likable. Previously, I would have said ish because of what people were branding him as an individual that was a tribalist. But I think that narrative is now shifting. People have seen that this was just a propaganda to just ruin his name and his brand. So he is very likable. Hi, cousins. Hey, cousins, he is coming with this, things that are becoming viral, like hi cousins, then he is not scared. Like I said, he knows Ruto inside out. Is he got the money? Yes, he's got the money. Is he got the experience? Yes, he's got the experience. Again, he's being in leadership, and again, he's just actually the one that is, if for me, the actual legitimate deputy president, because I don't think Kindiki is the legitimate. Kindiki, I think, was installed there for the purposes of supporting Kasongo in the interim, because eventually he was going to be thrown out anyway. He should know that as a professor. But the guy is so blind to see anything. So, regarding Gachagua, the only downside that I have for him is just, again, not everybody has accepted that he's not a tribalist. So there are a lot of some people that still may be thinking that he's still a tribalist, he's a Kikuyu, and it doesn't work outside the Mlima Kenya, but actually he's now shown that he can, and he does work outside the Mlima Kenya zone when he's visited other places. Another thing that probably may have some sort of issue with Rigathi Gachagua is just that he still stands to be impeached, but we know he has not exhausted all avenues that pertains him running for presidency. He still got the High Court, Court of Appeal. He still have the Supreme Court where he could go and try and get this impeachment quashed. Whether that he may need to explore that before 2027 to pave ways and open that is another thing, or whether he would want to delay that and allow 2027 to come so that he may have opportunities, because as long as you have avenues of appealing the issue, which can take months or years, the constitution would not bar you from vying for president. We've seen a lot of people come to the media and they talk all sort of nonsense and all that, but the bottom line is, as long as there are still avenues for you to put in your case for the impeachment to be overturned, you still have a chance as far as the Kenyan constitution is concerned. So those are some of the few things that hold Gachagua, but the guy, again, if there is somebody that can send Kasongo home quickly by 9 a.m. is Rigathi Gachagua. So these three individuals, Matiang'i, Rigathi Gachagua, and Kalonzo, if you ask me, are literally the one that have that ability to send. All they need is the other oppositions to rally behind them, and they have the ability to send Kasongo home very quickly. Let me talk about Kasongo. Who is Kasongo scared of among those three, or even if I add Martha, they are the four? I think Ruto is scared of Gachagua more than Matiang'i, than Kalonzo, and than Martha. Ruto is scared. Ruto is worried about Gachagua. Gachagua gives Ruto sleepless nights. Ruto is not so much worried about Kalonzo. I think he still understands that Kalonzo has the watermelon label behind him, and that's why he's trying to buy him out. He's trying to do all sorts of things to get Kalonzo back into his, side. But he's not trying Rigathi Gachagua. He can't. He cannot get that guy. So he is so scared. When Ruto hears Gachagua's name, I think he starts to, his probably feet start to sweat. When Gachagua sneezes, I think Ruto is scared, because he knows this guy has the potential to just completely make him a one-term president. And that, again, that narrative that is now trending around the world for one term was coined by this guy. So the things that he's coined, like one term, hey cousins and all that, are dangerous. So Ruto is scared of Gachagua than any other opposition leader. So if Ruto can have anybody become president, it's going to be anyone else but not Gachagua. So he will do anything to stop Gachagua from becoming the flag bearer, because he knows Gachagua can send him home, probably even before 2027. Because Gachagua has a lot of details has a lot of things and secretive things that he knows about this guy, that he worked with him for 2 years. And Ruto is scared of these things. And I think Gachagua still has a lot of things that he's still holding so that he can just spill out, little by little. So, here's one thing that I would want to advise the United Opposition. Kenya United Opposition. I was going to do this video before Martha actually said this, but I have not had the time to actually do it. I was going to suggest, this is me, and Kenyans can suggest what what they feel. I was going to suggest, if the United Opposition decides for Kalonzo to become president, my view would be they need to agree on a term of 1 term. The 1 term need to also go for these leaders, so that if Kalonzo will be the president, and let's assume Gachagua will be the deputy president, they agree that I will go there and I will do 5 years. And after 5 years, I will come out. That is an agreement that they need to make. Do 5 years, come out, then we will support Gachagua, who is the deputy president, to become the president. When you become president, again, Gachagua needs to do 5 years. When Gachagua is president, then they can decide Matiang'i needs to be the deputy president. So when Gachagua comes out, then Matiang'i can jump in and become the president. And then when Matiang'i is in, I don't know whether Natembea or any other person or Martha Karua or whatever they decide, if Martha Karua decides to be the president, she has already said she would want to do 5 terms. I want to agree with that. I think right now, Kenya, we don't need 10 years. Show us what you can do in 5 years. And if they agree, I think that would be a good thing, so that this power struggle may not be there. It will be a very easy thing for them to agree on a 5 years deal for presidency, and then the deputy president can become president, and then the other leaders can have a chance. So in 10 years, they will have had 2 deputy presidents and 2 presidents. That will be good. And I think that is a deal that can seal the United Oppositions to come together and agree, because in a 10 years deal, you can have 2 presidents and 2 deputy presidents, which is the presidency. So this is, I think, a good idea. But my prayer is that the person, if they were to agree on such a deal, the person that is president should not be greedy enough after 5 years and they decide to continue running, regardless of how good you will have tried to compel. I know 5 years is not a great time to say you can make all changes, but you'll be working together as a united opposition. So where the 5 years, you will take the country from where Kenya is to the next 5 years. The deputy president then will then come over and take the same manifesto and progress with it. That's it. I think it's a good thing. And I think it can help the united opposition to become strong and bond together and make those formidable plans to make sure that Kasongo will be sent home. Who can be the best deputy president? I don't know yet. I don't think Kalonzo would be a good deputy president. He's already been deputy president for 10 years. He doesn't need. If Kalonzo is not the president, he doesn't need to be the deputy president. He's been the deputy president for the best ever president that Kenya has ever had, His Excellency, the late Honorable Mwai wa Kibaki. 10 years. So he doesn't. He's tried to become the deputy president again for Raila several times, 3 times I think, didn't work. So I think Kalonzo cannot become a deputy president. If he can't be the president, I think he should serve in other areas but not the deputy president. Can Rigathi wa Gachagua be deputy president? I think he can. I think if he's okay, he can be given the deputy president position with the aim of, after 5 years, like I said, to become the president, have a shot at the presidency. He didn't finish his 5 years presidency with Ruto. He did 2 years plus. So I think he can become a good deputy president, and he's got the ability. Can Matiang'i be a deputy president? Definitely he can be a deputy president because he's not been one. And therefore, having a shot at the deputy president would also be okay for him to have that high-level office of leadership before he can ascend to presidency. But that doesn't mean he can't just jump from where he is to the presidency. Can Martha Karua be a good deputy president? I think she can. She's never been a deputy president. She's tried several times to work with Raila to become the deputy president, but it hasn't worked. So I think she can become. So the only person that cannot be a good deputy president would be Kalonzo for me, because he doesn't need to be a deputy president. If he can't be president, then he needs to be considering other things. But apart from that, I would not think Natembeya has the ability to become deputy president. I think he needs a few more years. But this gentleman, Eugene Wamalwa, I think Eugene Wamalwa can become a good deputy president. I don't think presidency he's there to be president for now. But that's my opinion, guys. But I think what I need to emphasize on, I think the flag bearer for the presidency, the president and the deputy president, need to come to an agreement with the other, united opposition to agree on a 5-year term. The president should run for 5 years. I know the constitution says 10 years, but they can agree on 5 years deal, so that within the next 10 years, they will have had 2 presidents and 2 deputy presidents. It can happen. It can work, and I think it will make the team formidable. This whole idea of you have to do that for 10 years, it doesn't have to be. If you're just doing it on yourself like Kasongo and the rest, you can do. But now, the united oppositions need to be together, and they need to agree on power sharing, because we need to develop Africa fast and quick, Kenya and all these other regions. End of it. And I think that should happen. What do you guys think? Do you think, if the united opposition was to come and agree on a 5 years presidency term, that would be a good idea? Or do you think the person that becomes a flag bearer needs to be there for 10 years? Share your comments with us. Do you think the 3 main contenders would be what we've shared, or do you think otherwise? Please let us know. Apart from that, let's pray for united opposition in Kenya so that Kasongo can be sent home. That's it. It's as simple as that. Hi guys, one term. We are making Ruto the first president to be 1 term in Kenya. 1 term, that's it. I said it. Please don't forget to follow my page or subscribe to my YouTube channel if you find this on YouTube. Shalom, shalom.